اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a person continues receiving the reward of salah for as long as he waits for the salah to commence. The angels say, O Allah, forgive him and show mercy to him. They continue making this supplication even after the salah, as long as he does not get up from there or as long as his ablution does not break. Mentioned by Bukhari. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the person who waits for the next salah after having performed the present salah is like a horseman whose horse gallops with him in the cause of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. The person who waits for the next salah is in the greatest fortification against himself and shaitan. Mentioned by Tabarani. Irbad ibn Sariya radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek forgiveness 3 times for the first row of salah and 1 time for the second row. Mentioned by Ibn Majah. Abu Umama radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, surely Allah and His angels send salutations to the first row. The companions radiallahu ta'ala anhum asked, O Messenger of Allah, and on the second row? He said, and on the second row. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, straighten your rows, keep your shoulders in line, become soft to your brothers in straightening the rows, and fill in the gaps, because shaitan comes in between you like a lamb when he sees empty gaps in the rows. Mentioned by Tabarani. Note, the meaning of becoming soft to your brothers is that if a person asks you to move forward or back in order to straighten the rows, you must listen to him and do not act stubborn. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best row of the men is the first row, and the worst is the last row, and the best row of the woman is the last row, and the worst is the first row. Mentioned by Muslim. Al-Barra ibn Azib radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to go to the end of the row and straighten the chests and shoulders of the people, and he used to say, let there not be crookedness, or else your hearts will disunite. He used to say, surely Allah showers mercies on the first rows, and His angels seek forgiveness for them. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Al-Barra ibn Azib radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu showers mercies on those who are close to the first row, and His angels seek forgiveness for them. There is no step that is more beloved to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu than the step which a person takes to fill gap in a row. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu showers mercy on those who stand on the right side of the row, and His angels seek forgiveness for them. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the person who stands on the left side of the row, because there are fewer people, they shall receive a double reward. Mentioned by Tabarani. Note, when the companions radiallahu ta'ala anhum heard that there is more virtue in standing on the right side of the row, they all desired to stand on that side. Consequently, the left side remained empty. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam therefore gave the virtue of the left side as well. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu showers mercy on those who fills the gaps in the rows, and His angels seek forgiveness for them. Mentioned by Hakim. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a person fills a gap in a row, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu certainly raises his rank, and the angels shower goodness onto him. Mentioned by Tabarani. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best of you are those who keep their shoulders soft in salah. There is no step that earns a greater reward than the step which a person takes in order to fill a gap in a row. Mentioned by Bazzar. Note, keeping the shoulders soft in salah means that if anyone wants to come into a row, those to his right and left soften their shoulders so that he may enter the row easily. Abu Juhayfa radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever fills a gap in the row is forgiven." Mentioned by Bazzar. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever joins a row, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall join him. Whoever breaks a row, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall break him." Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Note, breaking the row means that a person keeps something next to him whereby the row cannot be completed. Alternatively, he sees an incomplete row and still does not fill it. Mentioned by Mirqat. Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Straighten your rows, because the straightening of the rows is included in the order to establish salah." Mentioned by Bukhari. Usman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes, "I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, the person who performs a complete ablution and then vows to attend the obligatory salah and then offers it with the people in congregation in the masjid, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu forgives him and his sins." Mentioned by Muslim. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes, "I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is most pleased with salah that is offered in congregation." Mentioned by Ahmed. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The superiority of a person's salah offered in congregation is over 20 times more than his salah offered alone." Mentioned by Ahmed. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The salah of a person offered in congregation is multiplied 25 times over his salah which is offered in his house and marketplace." Mentioned by Bukhari. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Salah offered in congregation is superior to salah offered alone by 27 times." Mentioned by Muslim. Ubas ibn Ashyam al-Laysi radiallahu ta'ala anhu writes that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The salah of two people with one leading the other is more beloved to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu than four people offering their salah individually. The salah of four people with one of them leading the rest is more beloved to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu than 8 people offering their salah individually. The salah of 8 people with one of them leading the rest is more liked by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu than 100 people offering their salah individually." Mentioned by Bazzar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to make amal upon whatever we have listened to, and may He give us the tawfiq to send this to others, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayh.